the second episode of our Satellite Friendships podcast. So before we begin, we're just going to share a little bit about how we came up with this idea. It was just like a random afternoon of chatting with Gale, wherein we've always wanted to do something creative like for the longest time, and then we finally just decided to go ahead and do it like without any major planning or preparations. So we call this podcast Satellite Friendships. Satellite friendship is actually a term that was coined by my high school friends. We use it to describe a friendship that was outside of our barkada. And throughout the years, like we realized that we accumulated like a lot of these satellite friendships, and we happen to have different friends who are not part of the same barkada, but who we happen to just get along really well with because we just connect and have really great conversations together. And for this podcast, we wanted to bring them together. And we have this theory that our satellite friends, once we introduce them and get talking about like a topic that we all are interested in, we feel like we're all gonna get along. So we also just wanted to use this platform to do that and reconnect with them, especially now that we're all just staying indoors and we need social interactions every now and then and have like a great conversation. So yeah, this is our first episode where we have a satellite friend joining us. Her name is Celine. So Gail, would you want to share how we all know each other?
Yes, si Celine, nakilala namin ni Ana. Actually, ako rin nakilala ko si Ana and Celine both back in 2017 because we all joined this mountaineering club at pretty much the same time. So, ibig sabihin, magkakamatch kami din sa batch of people joining that mountaineering club for that year, 2017. Tapos, yeah, like, tulad ng sabi ni Ana, nagkakasundo naman kami. So, as yung part of that mountaineering club, kasama yung training. And a lot of the training involved in the club involved running. So, tuwing nag-meet up yung mga magka-batch for training on Wednesdays and Sundays, we pretty much ran, diba, every time?
Yes. Twice a week.
Yeah. So, siguro kahit hindi mo gustong tumakbo, kung gusto mong umakyat ng bundok, parang kailangan mong tumakbo or makahiligan tumakbo or at least matiis yung sheer amount of running that you have to do to train for the hikes that we did. Celine, could you tell us more about yourself and I guess parang anong place ng running sa buhay mo currently?
With regards to running, currently I haven't been fully running outside since I got an injury last June, around June. And I've been running on the treadmill for the past almost 2 months na. I had to slow down a bit, but I still try to get that rhythm. Maybe not as fast as before, but currently parang a little bit laid back compared to running before. But I still run up to now.
Yeah. Any injury mo pala if it's okay to ask?
Yeah, it started with pain on the side of my knee. Actually, it's not the bone itself, pero parang muscle. And then as I searched, and one of our friends, si Megs, na yung based sa mga description ng mga pain, she said it's IT band syndrome. And there's when I checked it out, it's more of like yung not being able to stretch before running. Then after running, parang hindi hindi nagko-cool down. Eh, syempre, parang accumulated injury siya. Parang, I was in great pain around June. So, akala ko okay lang. Tapos, one time when I was doing lunges, bigla na lang may naipit. Sobrang sakit talaga.
Hello?
Yeah. So, yun. Dapat talaga pag may injury, should rest. First thing to do is really rest. And I haven't had it checked yet, but based on research, so far, stretching helps at the moment. Yeah.
Talaga. Sa gilid ng knee, no? Sabi mo, tama ba?
Gilid ng knee and sa likod. Minsan naman sa ilalim. I think it's the IT band. It's a long, thick nerve or muscle that runs the leg. Normally aligned siya. Pero after a while, siguro nagiging matigas siya pag very often yung run accumulated throughout the years. So yeah, warming up and cool down is very important. And spacing, like rest days in between.
Is that related to the hamstrings? Because I think I experienced that also on my left leg. Like there's like this pain that's running down my leg like when I run, but I don't know like why. But it's okay. It doesn't bother me so much. But so when did you get into running? How long have you been running, and why do you continue to run?
I started running the first time I tried running was around 2009. It was because I joined this outdoor club. I had no idea on fitness at the time, but I was so enticed when I joined one of their parang open or friendship climbs. So upon joining them, when I joined that friendship climb or that open climb, I really found it very physically challenging to even just hike with them. But parang I really enjoyed the outdoors for the first time in that place in Zambales. So I was interested, and then one of the training that they do is of course running for cardio. So I tried it first with them, and then I never thought that I would really get into it because being somebody not really into fitness at the time, I found it very struggling. I don't know. There was a way na somehow you just enjoy the rhythm, and then eventually you just if you have siguro kung ganado ka talaga, if you have the will, parang determination, you'll somehow discover that parang it has a rhythm. And that breathing rhythm, kahit mahirap or painful na struggle, somehow there's something that makes you enjoy it. I don't know. It's like pleasure and pain, I guess, that go hand in hand. Something like that.
Na miserable.
Yeah. So, yun.
Ay, ilang taon ka pala nun? Is it okay to ask? Noong 2009?
Shocks, hindi ko na well, I'm 36 now. 2009. Wala akong calculation.
10 years ago? 26?
12.
25?
26 to
12 years ago.
12? I'm mid-20s.
Mid-20s.
Yeah. That was supposed to be the height of fitness, pero I wasn't really... I had no idea on fitness. Parang I just like being in the city. My activities were like drinking. I was smoking.
Ako din. Ganun yung 20s ko. Walang
Eating anything I want.
Kasi exercise.
Hindi pa kasi masakit yung katawan natin. Hindi pa natin nararamdaman pag masakit.
Or parang you feel invincible pa siguro in your 20s.
Yeah. Oo,
parang ako natutulog nun.
Yeah.
Ganon.
Yeah, like anytime sleeping time was anytime. But siguro if you get into fitness of any kind, parang you appreciate getting into bed a little earlier. Something like that.
That's around the same time I got into running also when I was in my mid-20s. Yeah, because yes, I was working in Mizuno, so I've always been a sports enthusiast like ever since. But I started with football, and then eventually I wanted to try out different sports because I've always been into having an active lifestyle. But it's only now, like this year, that I really started to enjoy running.
Wow.
Finally. Pero, since that was 2012, that's 2012 for me. Parang it was never really an enjoyable experience for me. Like, it has always been very painful. So it was always a struggle and challenge. But, like, for me, I was more attracted to the challenge, I think.
Mm.
Like, I wanted to challenge myself every time. That's why I kept doing it. Ikaw, Gail,
Okay.
you know what's funny? Like, si Gail, in our group, like, she's always the one who says that she hates running and it's for and basta parang ayaw niya, lagi siya nagreklamo. But at the same time, she's always the one who's first to invite us to train and join races.
Wow.
Kasi dali Ano kasi, Hanash kasi yun?
So,
Naalala ko
bakit
yung
ka nga tumatakbo, Gail? Ano yung reason mo for running?
Dali ay, oh my God, parang yung mga race na sinalihan ko, Hanash yung Hanash, parang crush, ganun, yung ibig ko sabihin sa, parang, kasi yung New Balance na 25K pa yun, New Balance 25K, 2018 yun, right after ng induction climb. Gusto ko sumali doon kasi may Hanash din. Inimbita ko yung
Hanash mo.
Hanash.
Ganyan.
Pero wala siya nun eh.
Gets mo na?
Oo. Pero wala siya dun, di ba?
Inimbita ko siya. Mamaya ko lang
sige.
sa'yo. Inimbita ko siya. Tapos, wala na. Hindi ko na, parang sabi niya, go siya. Tapos, lumipas yung panahon, race na, tapos hindi pa rin siya sumasali. Tapos hindi ko na finalo up yan. Pero tinapos ko naman yung 25K.
Nice.
At saka parang, generally I hate running, parang the idea of parang distance running, I really don't like it. Pero ang naging key for me is yung, alam niyo ba yung Galloway method? Yung run walk?
Yes. Run walk, yeah.
So parang ang suggested na intervals nun 4 minutes na run, tapos 1 minute na walk, gano'n. Ang ginagawa ko interval ay 30 seconds sa takbo at 30 seconds na lakad. At sa awa ng Diyos na
nairaos.
Nairaos with that method. Ayun. I'm happy with that. Otherwise, parang hindi ko pa nakikita yung appeal ng run. Yung rhythm na sinasabi mo, Celine, parang I'd like to hear more about that rhythm that you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I could relate. Kasi, I like music, I play the guitar, and I'm not sure if parang, there was a time when I was running, parang I was thinking about, kasi I have this weird, method before when I just started. Or minsan ginagamit ko pa rin. Pagka napapagod ako o nahihingal or tinatamad, parang I count my steps. So, I count like 1, 2, 3, 4. Ganun. Parang it made me think na it has this rhythm. And, when you're in the zone or you get into the rhythm, parang when your breathing's in sync, parang it's very rewarding, or that's where the good feeling comes in when I run. So, that's one of the reasons why siguro parang pinahanapan ko, parang siyang may metronome or parang this rhythm na I enjoy. At the same time, it's painful and it's also challenging at times. I mean, break a sweat.
I think I got that.
Meditation.
Yeah, it puts you in a meditative state, like running, because it's just you and the pavement and your focus and the steps. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I got to appreciate it a lot more during the pandemic, because it gave you that space to prioritize your mental health. And even if we're kind of like isolated and stuck like in our own villages, ganyan. So, yeah, yung music, parang it became like therapy for me. Like having a playlist and then just going with the motions of the beats.
Nice.
Okay. Since you mentioned that kaya ka nag-iimbita dati because of Hanash. Can you guys share what was your most memorable run ever?
Um, ako ba?
Yeah, sige.
Ikaw, Celine.
Wala kasi akong maalala ng Hanash. Wala talaga. Kasi yung mga
Talaga?
Hanash ko, parang
Ako lang ba yung ganito?
hindi into running. Yun, pero my most during the start or middle time na I was running, there were lots of fun runs, races, and then towards the end, like recent years, I always find myself running alone. It was like a solo activity for me. Pero yung memorable run na maalala ko, this was, what year? 2011. There was this run for the anniversary of Jose Rizal. Basta it was called a Rizal run. And it was from Luneta up to Baclaran. Basta ang layo. Yung sinalihan namin parang 15K. So yun, parang memorable sa akin yun kasi parang I was still a beginner. Maybe not beginner, parang sort of a little bit more than a beginner runner in time na yun. Tapos it was my first time to run na tuloy-tuloy. Slow pero tuloy-tuloy ko nagawa. Tapos parang there was this adrenaline sa daybreak. Isa sa mga memorable yun. And then the second run na memorable for me was a run in 2016. It was the last Skyway Condura run. Yung sa Skyway.
Marathon niya.
Yeah. I joined lang the 10K though nung sa Condura Skyway. I just found it amazing na the place na I pass riding a car or a taxi or a bus or the MRT was the place na we were running. So,
yung Skyway mismo talaga yung ano?
Yeah, Skyway mismo. We started in
Kailangan nila yung buong Skyway, ganun ba?
Yeah, we started around 4 or ako 10K kami, we started around mga 5 yata or 4:30 ba yung gun start. Yeah, we started in Alabang. Saan ba yun? Pinuntes area yun. Tapos all the way till a certain point.
Kung Alabang.
Yeah, but if you'll do the 21 or the 42, I think you'll end up even up to Makati. Aabot ka na dun sa part na ano. Nakakaliw. That was really cool, like running on top of the Skyway. I felt like a car or maybe a motorbike.
That's kind of cool, no? Like, naabot yung sunrise, like on the Skyway. Ba?
Yeah. Ganda. South Southeast, yeah. Yeah.
Parang the fact na it's a solitary thing, parang is that what holds the appeal for you guys, for you introverts?
Not really. I think kasama niyo, but it's not really the main like reason why I do it. Parang okay kasi sige. She likes the events like surrounding
like sobrang
masaya.
Yun yung namimiss niya.
Gusto ko yung party atmosphere. Tsaka gusto ko yung fact na ang dami-daming tao, tapos madaling araw, tapos sabay-sabay.
You feel the energy You feel the energy of everyone.
Yeah, I think
pero ayoko yung mag-isa.
Okay lang. Like, the community is really great. Parang what I don't like is yung mga bad behaviors that some runners like have like during big events. Yung they don't observe like proper disposal of their trash. Yun lang. Yun yung ayoko. At saka pag marami kasi mga fun runs na a lot of people join, like maybe too much. So, to the point na you can't anymore enjoy the route. Kasi ang dami ng tao and a lot of them aren't in it to run really. They're just there to have fun. So parang hindi nila sinaseryoso yung run talaga. Kaya hindi siya nagiging run essentially. So, yun, parang siguro iba yung purpose nun. Like, ng fun run from like a more serious run, like a marathon or half marathon na mas intimate or, yun nga, mas konti yung participants because, the more serious runners, who need to train are the ones who participate in those events.
Diyan sa binanggit mo, naalala ko yung Amihan na trail run na pinuntahan natin. Tapos, nauna kayong mga kabataan eh. Kasama ko si Liz. Naalala ba si Liz? Celine?
Yeah.
Si Lisette. Tapos si
Lisette.
Rina, kasama na rin natin. Kasama ko pala. Tapos, bale, trail run siya. Tapos, parang ginawa namin siyang day hike. Kasi naglakad-lakad na kami, tapos ang tagal namin dun sa aid station, parang 1 oras ata kami kumakain, ganyan. Tapos
Pangat siya.
Tapos nag-picture taking pa. Pero
Pangat
masaya
siya?
siya. Ha?
Uphill siya?
Oo, maraming paangat. Maraming paangat. Kasi parang akit ka dun sa chapel ba yun?
Ano siya? Up, down, up, down. Yeah. It was good. It was a good route.
Masaya siyang day hike. Pero umabot kami sa cut-off. Parang 30 minutes or 10 minutes or something.
No, but that really is the beauty of trail runs. I think they really designed the route so that the participants can enjoy the view. And yung cut-off times are really longer. Kasi they don't expect na yung pace mo will be the same. Diba? As a trail ka versus a road. Yun. For me, like, my memorable runs would be the milestone runs. Like, yun na, yung first 21K, first 42K. Definitely, right? I think for everyone. Kasi parang, you never thought that you could do it. And then it just happens. And then, wow, parang sarap nung feeling, diba? When you finish, like, shit, like, I did it, right? Kasi dati nga, hindi ako consistent with my training before, even in AMC, super inconsistent ko. So, I always felt like I was not prepared for the race. But they always say naman na it's better to be under-trained than over-trained. So, parang, in that sense, I always felt like, sige, okay na yan. Like, sabi nila, it's better to be under-trained. And, like, chill, no pressure.
But injury siguro.
Yeah. Kasi kung overtrained ka, you won't naman have the energy or yung katawan mo will not be conditioned then to finish the race. And yeah, you'll be prone to injury. So yeah, but I think the best run that I've had was a 10K run in UP. I was training with the UP Mountaineers at the time, and I was so nervous. I was so pressured kasi may cut-off time now ng 1 hour and 15 minutes. And during our training runs, hindi ko siya nami-meet. So parang, oh my God, like, but then, I don't know, for some reason, that day, like, I just felt so energized. And, luckily, I had pacers, like, who showed up on the day itself. Like, I didn't even know that we would have, yung mga support na ganon. And one of my pacers happened to be the dad of my really close friend. Yung tatay niya as in like his dad who's like a senior citizen na mas malakas pa tumakbo kaysa sa akin. And he was so good. Like, sobrang, more of parang I think nahiya ako sa kanya. That's why sinundan ko lang yung pace niya. And then parang, shit, kaya ko pala. Like, kaya ko pala yung face niya, ganun. So, I think, Gale mentioned it earlier, yung hanash being the motivation for running or joining runs. I think ang problema dun sa hanash, or yung pagkasama mo yung crush mo, parang may tendency ka to, like, magpabebe. pabebe pag
Talaga?
kasama mo tumakbo yung crush mo. I don't know, like, well, that was my experience. Parang
Alin
you know,
yun
you
to?
kind of,
Alin? Alin
Wala.
takbo to?
madami. Madami. Like, yung 21K natin. Parang,
Yung QR ba? Ay,
Ah,
ano?
yeah, yung QR, parang, well,
Ah.
like, you start making excuses, like, oh, like, shit, like, ang sakit-sakit na, ganyan, like, I can't, but, yeah. But, you know, that was also a really good 21K for me. Parang, grabe, I had a really hard time in the beginning because the trail was very, like, uneven and rocky and muddy, and it was dark. My headlight wasn't working very well, so wala akong makita. I couldn't run. So, I was so behind. But then, nung nagkaroon na ng araw, tapos, nagkaroon na ng pacer, sobrang bumilis na yung pace ko. It's just that, since medyo, I think nabigla yung katawan ko because of the pace. Like, sobrang bilis ng pace ko. Towards the end of the race, like, I started to get cramps na. And, I had to kind of walk, like, a lot, because hindi na ako makaltakbo. Oh my gosh, like, because of the cramps. So, yeah. How was, Celine, what was the longest race that you've done?
The longest race, yung fun run, mga ganun, organized.
Like,
Is,
longest run or any, like, yeah.
well, I was able to do mga 21 on one run last, I think a few months ago. Pero, it was like, my ordinary run lang on my own. Dito lang sa Makati. Pero pag fun run or organized run, I think the most I did was 15. 15.
No,
Ang haba din.
That
Ginawa
21K.
mo talagang goal yung... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, that 21K was really amazing because I would never do that on my own.
I think, I was messaging.
Paano mo siya ginawa? Paano mo siya natiis mag-isa? At bakit mo siya ginustong gawin? Mag-isa?
Yeah,
na-message kita nung time na yun. It was a Saturday or Sunday ba yun?
Yeah,
Di ba, Ana?
yeah. Yes.
Kasi, I've been running for some time. Ilang years na talaga, as in. Tapos, nagagawa kong maximum distance, mga 10K, 15, 14, 16, ganyan. Pero never ko na-hit yung 21 kasi siguro, lagi ako tumatakbo mag-isa. Like what you guys said, it takes, it's good na may support or a group or training. Parang it pushes you more, di ba? Kaya sabi ko, parang I really wanna push myself din talaga. So, ginagawa ko dito pag weekend, dito sa Makati, iniikot ko talaga yung buong Legazpi Village, tapos yung Glorieta Complex, hanggang Landmark, tapos papuntang Ayala Triangle. Tapos gagawin ko, pagdating sa Ayala Triangle, parang gagawin ko siyang times 2, ganyan. Basta ina-accumulate, tapos umabot pa ako Urdaneta, ganyan. Ina-accumulate yung distance. And then, pag dadating na ako dun sa maximum, normally mga sa 15, 16, minsan titigil ako konti, tapos, actually, pupunta ako 7-Eleven, bibili ako ng water. Tapos tutuloy ko ulit. Yun. Tapos, finally, one morning, parang ayoko na talaga, pero sabi ko, sayang naman, parang uulit na naman ako. So, pinilit ko talaga, tapos, yung parang ginawa ko yung run, walk. And then, eventually, parang tuloy-tuloy. And thankfully, yun, na-reach ko naman yung goal na 21.
Wow!
Hindi ko nga lang na-record. Sa
Ay, hindi, wala. Hindi counted.
Paano nalaman kung talagang tinakbo mo yun?
Not on Strava, it didn't happen.
Pinag-lulunok mo lang kami.
Wala, yun, hindi ko na
Baka inimbento mo lang yung storya na to para sa content ko. Joke lang.
Yun, kasi...
Joke lang. Naniniwala kami nag-21K.
Joke lang. How long did it take you to finish a 21K?
Ako parang it was 2 hours in 15 or 20.
That's really fast.
Oo.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tatlong oras yun. 21K.
Akala ko na 3 hours straight.
Ako din, 3 hours din. 21K.
Ano, I thought yung
Nagmamadali ka.
I thought yung cut-off sa QR was mga 2 hours. Tama ba?
Oh, it was 4 hours.
Oo nga pala. Kasi trail.
Kasi
Siyempre,
trail.
that's tougher.
No, but that's fast considering like, mag-isa ka lang and then, yun nga, nagpunta ka pa ng 7-Eleven, mga ganyan.
Hindi pa ako pinapasok kasi wala akong shield. Sabi ko,
shit.
kailangan ko po talaga bumuli ng water. Sabi ako, hindi, wala akong shield eh.
15 kilometers.
Hindi ako naka-shield. Nasanay na rin ako nang naka-mask. Eventually, tas pag walang tao, binababa ako. Pag meron ng tao na paparating, ganun.
So like yung first 15 kilometers nun, puro diretsong takbo yun. As in, wala kang walking break at all.
Oo, kaya naman, nung time na yun, kasi talagang may time na, hindi man everyday, pero 3 times a week ako tumatakbo. Lalo na pag weekends, parang madali kasi first thing in the morning, minsan malamig pa sa mornings.
Oo, masarap pa.
Kaya naman.
I think the longest run that I've done like during the pandemic is 12K. But it just happened once and it was because I joined the virtual run. But otherwise, I think hindi ko yun magagawa without any like form of reinforcement. But it was good. Like parang yung kumbaga yung feeling that you get after like a race like pre-pandemic, it was the same feeling I got like that day, even if I was just by myself and, you know, wala yung mga aid station, wala yung mga tao, like, in the area. Like, I started to enjoy, like, what Gale mentioned, yung solitude, yeah, which I appreciated more during the pandemic kasi parang, you know, I realized na it's not about, like, dati kasi parang yung galawan namin was we'd always sign up for a race and then we'd train for that race. But then, it was in the pandemic that I appreciated the process or the training more na parang, okay, hindi ko kailangan ng race to be able to enjoy a run or like, parang create progress. Kasi dati parang we were basically running to prepare for a race. But then now, it's like, it's just me just trying to improve, like, my own, goals or record for myself. And it was nice to be able to track it. Kasi dati, hindi ako nag-record ng run. So, I have no idea what my performance is really like. Wala akong baseline. But when I started using Strava, like, religiously, during the pandemic, dun ka nakakita na I was actually getting faster. Like, when I first started, hirap ako. My pace was like 8 minutes or more, like, per kilometer. And then, a month later, 7 minutes na. So, yun. And it kind of, like, motivated me to run more because I saw the improvements and parang, okay, kaya ko pala bumilis. And I never got that feeling before. I always felt na ang hina-hina ako. So there, my mindset also changed. Like, I think the reason why I didn't enjoy my runs before was because I was always putting myself down. I was always thinking na I can't do it. Like, I can't faster. Like, hanggang dito na lang ako. But then, like, something in me changed during the pandemic wherein I started to look at things more positively, like, because I became aware of my self-sabotaging behavior that I wanted to turn that around and then change my perspective on how I approach things in life. Yung tipong you don't really need to be good at something to do it. Parang, like, who cares? Parang kung hindi ka magaling or whatever, like, it doesn't matter. Like, what matters is, if you want to do it or if you enjoy it.
That's interesting, na like parang it's na naramdaman mo yung parang shift in you during the pandemic. Mentally, Ana, Dick, ko na ask you, parang yung performance or pag-improve in terms of performance. I'd like to know if it's a factor for you sa pagtakbo mo, sa enjoyment mo, or sa pagkagusto mo sa running.
Actually, when I started, it wasn't a factor, or I thought it wasn't. So I just started really just getting my foot across. Then I mean, parang putting my foot in front of the other. And I can say now, sometimes it is. Minsan nakakawalang gana pag I do a run, tapos parang I feel like parang it wasn't as good as the last one, or how come I didn't reach that distance. I was like that for a time. After having like this injury, nung June, it made me have a different view on it. Like, minsan na, I'm not saying that it's bad to share your runs all the time. Pero parang for me, parang I was thinking baka I'm putting unnecessary pressure on myself by sharing it all the time. Maybe at first it was more of an expressive thing, but eventually parang naisip ko baka I'm putting unnecessary pressure on myself, and also I don't know, parang I was also thinking about like it's not really a race or a competition with anyone. I'm just simply connecting with myself. That's a new mindset I've sort of thought of recently, at least for the past 3 months.
Ano yung pressure na parang what does that look like? What did that look like for you, if it's okay?
Yeah, sure. Parang I feel bad before, like when I wouldn't reach like a certain pace. I know it's crazy. I don't know.
No, it's I mean,
Yeah.
na-feel ko na rin yan.
Yeah.
Feel ko rin.
Parang
Go on.
na-frustrate ako, tapos minsan parang pagkatitingin ko ng ano ko, or for example, hindi ako umawat ha. Naiinis talaga ako. Eventually, parang sabi ko, ba't ko nga ba ginagawa sa sarili ko to? Parang, ba't pa ako tumatakbo parang torture, di ba? So parang, gusto ko din naman mag-enjoy. Saka, yun, parang, sometimes kasi sa Facebook, you can't help but compare, di ba? Like, may mga idol ka, or may people na you admire, or also, parang, oh my God, nakakainis, ba't hindi ko nare-reach yung ganun? Yeah. I was a bit like that before. And eventually, parang, sabi ko, if I really want to do this, and really enjoy this, then I should just do it. Parang, there are days that I'll be doing great. There are days na mas not as great. Pero, the fact that parang I have the chance to actually run is already a blessing, I guess. Lalo na nung pandemic, parang mas ma-appreciate mo talaga. Nagkaka-chance ka tumakbo.
How so?
Nasagot ko ba yung sana?
Yeah.
Matanong lang talaga. Go on.
Ikaw, Gale. Ikaw naman.
Ako rin ba?
Oo. Ikaw, motivate ka ba?
Yung sa kasi ako, like, yung since I started using yung Runkeeper na app noong when I was training for that New Balance 25K, parang ever since, all my runs, dine-document ko dun. So, yung route, yung pace, ganyan. Tapos, like, most of my runs, like, I found that it motivates me. Parang if I can maintain or run faster than like my previous pace. Pero ngayon kasi, parang, alam mo yung, ang mabilis na pace na for me is 8 minutes and something seconds. Basta under 9 minutes, parang mabilis na per kilometer, mabilis na sa akin. I'm happy with that. Kaya lang ngayon, parang actually since the pandemic, hindi ko ma-break yung 9 minutes. Palaging 9 minutes and something yung pace ko per kilometer. So parang, siya, di ba, very discouraging for me. So I also had to parang shift yung the way I thought about it din. Lalo na kasi pinopost ko din yung ko yung runs ko. Kasi it also encourages me. Parang pag nila-like siya, nakaka-encourage ako. Parang 9, 10, gano'n yung pace ko. So parang I had to parang I can relate to yung sinabi ni Ana na parang it doesn't, parang I have to think of it na parang it doesn't matter yung pace ko. Parang, so ayun, actually hindi na pala ako masyadong tumatakbo. Pero, go on. Go on, sorry, may sasabihin ka diba?
Now, I was just gonna say na parang the fact that you show up or the fact that you run, I think that's already
Win.
a start of a win already to begin with.
Agree. Like, for me, every run feels like a win. That's why I also post it kasi it feels like I'm celebrating an accomplishment even if, you didn't perform as good as last time or whatever. The last time I ran was actually last Monday. And I had a hard time because I haven't been running also. Like, kasi ever since ECQ, is parang ang labo-labo ng mga restrictions and like,
yung rules.
hindi mo na alam kung ano bang pwede mong gawin. But also because I've been prioritizing strength training over running. But I still try to find ways to at least do one run every week. So, ayun, parang nahirapan talaga ako. And then, I kept on also checking my time and like monitoring my progress. Because I was so conscious of it. But then, parang, I also, like, I try to be, like, kinder to myself kasi parang I remind myself na, hey, ang tagal mo nang hindi tumatakbo. So, it's not expected that you have a fast pace, ganyan, or you'll be consistent this time. So, it's okay. Yeah. Although, at the end of my run, like, I saw na yung average pace ko has been, consistent pa rin at 7 minutes. It's just that, ang nangyari sa akin in my last run was that my first kilometer was really fast. Like, under 6 minutes. Tapos, parang hindi ko na masustain yung pace. Kaya bumagal ako ng bumagal. Kaya yung, parang yung average na naging 7 na lang. But, parang, I ended up walking a lot na nung second and third kilometer. Which is also okay. Like, parang, kung feel mo maglakad, hindi maglakad ka na lang. Whatever.
May hanash factor din pala ako yung kahit yung mga training run. Pag nila-like, tapos post ko, tapos pag nila-like siya ng crush, that makes me happy. Lalo na ngayong pandemic.
Sa Facebook ba? Sino yung mga, kung mapansin? Just kidding.
Tsaka si Kwan, tsaka si hi, guys.
No, but I really like it when people post their runs kasi nakakatawa siya. I super like, I feel happy for the people who are able to show up also. Kasi I know na it probably benefited them a lot, like, to get in that 20-minute, 30-minute run. Kasi I know what it feels like. So, parang, natutuwa ako when I see people sharing.
Yeah, nakaka-inspire or parang magkakagana ka to, maybe I should run today. Just in case, for example, for today, for example, hindi ka tumakbo ng morning. Tapos nakita mo yung friends mo nag-post, sabi ko, sige, mamaya I'll run. So, parang diba, it also motivates you or maybe it will also help motivate others na, why don't I just get out of the door and, show up and run? Like that.
Parang sometimes that's the hardest part, yung lalabas ka. At umpisahan siya in the first place. Yan.
Yeah. So, like, what advice, like, would you give to, like, a non-athletic person or non-runner to convince them to start running? And what would be your tips for them to, keep running?
Based on how I started, I would say na they should just take everything by stride. Small wins, just show up. Once you show up, step by step, and then, for example, this first session maybe just do 1 kilometer. Whether you want to do that kilometer na buong run, good. Kung hindi naman kaya, then maybe 100 steps na run. Tapos, pag hindi mo na talaga kaya, then walk. Pero parang always have like a goal or parang a progress. Like for example, I'll run dire-diretso for 300 steps kung kaya mo. And then I'll walk after. And then maybe the next time or next session, you could do 500 steps or a certain distance na tuloy-tuloy. Ganon. So parang to convince them, maybe just to take everything in stride. You don't have to do it as like boom or full-blown kaagad. Yeah, something like that. And also, maybe I'd encourage them to run with a friend who enjoys or is enthusiastic about running, so that they also, parang energy, they could share the same energy, they could be motivated.
And now's your chance.
Yes.
Naalala na naman ako. Training run. Tapos siya, 2 hours and like 30 minutes or 45 minutes. So, ang tagal nun ang tagal. Pero nagawa ko siya kasi may kasama ako na gusto ko kasama. Tapos, yung pace ko nun, under 8 minutes, oh my God.
Wow.
Never ko pa nagawa ko tayo.
Nice.
Kasi mabilis siya tumakbo.
So kaya kaya mo pala.
Pero sinabayan ko siya.
Tayo, di ba?
Namatay. Ang lakas ng power ng Hanash. I swear.
Yun din yung tip mo.
Magbibigay din ba ako ng tip? Magbibigay din ba ako ng tip?
naman.
Sige, actually excited ako. Kasi, naalala ko yung parang first day of training sa mountaineering club na sinalihan natin. Nakita ko si Hazel. Tapos may shirt siya na yung mga running shirt, diba sinusuot natin yung training, ganyan. Tapos yung nakasulat dun sa shirt niya, 20K finisher. Tapos I remember thinking na parang, wow, parang shit, parang imposible yan for me. Tapos, parang fast forward mga 6 months later, parang I ran a 25K. And I did it by doing a 30-second run, 30-second walk interval. As in, yun lang, paulit-ulit. Tapos it's legit. I'm so proud of myself. Feeling ko anyone can run 30 seconds and walk 30 seconds and do that over and over. To complete, a 5K course or 10K course or 25 or whatever run or race. So,
build up. Parang build up talaga.
Yeah, that's what I would, kahit hanggang parang 30 seconds parang interval ko, I love it. So, parang that's what I would say to anyone who wants to explore running. Okay, it's legit. Parang 30 seconds run, 30 seconds walk. If you're gonna finish.
You finish it, yeah.
Lots of races that way, and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and it's only in the beginning. The distances might seem intimidating. Like yun nga, 10K, parang what? I can't even do 5K, ganyan. But once you experience it, like once you start, parang you realize na hindi pala siya ganun kahaba. Parang it's like
parang you break it down Parang hihimay-himay mo talaga siya.
Yeah, it's like your body is more capable than what you think it can do. So you just have to try it and then see where you can go from there. And probably like me naman, yung advice ko is it's not easy. Like, don't expect it to be easy because it's not. It's parang may nabasa ako like during the pandemic about motivation being a myth. Like, you're not always going to feel motivated, and that's life. The opportunity comes in when you're able to overcome, that feeling of being tamad or lazy. And then you'll just feel proud of yourself afterwards that you actually did something And yeah, you showed up. Parang kumbaga, like, don't expect na you'll feel like running every day kasi hindi siya, that's not reality. And you have to learn how to discipline also yourself to do it because it's good for you because it's healthy and it will you will benefit from it. And especially now in the pandemic, everyone has like a sedentary lifestyle, even more than before. Kasi we don't anymore commute as much. Like, imagine, like, there's so many steps that we're missing out on. That's why it's a lot more important to make the effort to put in those steps. Kasi kailangan natin siya. Like, kailangan ng katawan natin yun. So, that's it.
I want to hear more about yung sinabi mo, Celine, about breaking down, parang breaking things into like smaller chunks. Ganyan. I think that's parang a really great piece of advice for people looking to run longer distances.
To start running. Somehow it's really overwhelming sa simula, especially when you have no background sa, like me, I had no background sa fitness or running. So, but I was really motivated at the time, and sabi ko, I'll just take it step by step. So, I started breaking down the 10K distance. So what I do, like what you do, run, walk. But then parang I would always want to build up the run. So eventually, it was more run than walk. And then eventually, after breaking down or parang hinihimay-himay mo yung distance, eventually, you'll reach your goal na buong 10K. So I think instead of biting more than you can chew, parang you just bite it little by little, and then you'll finally finish the brownie or the cookie.
Tama. Yes.
Yeah, even if it's just like 5K, like ako kasi nasanay ako doing 3K lang every time. Kasi parang, I always just, parang inuunahan ko yung sarili ko. Like, ay nako, 5K, that's like another 10 minutes, ganyan. Pero parang, when you think about it, it's just like, okay, once you've hit 3K, it's just another 1K, and that's like 7-8 minutes, and then, next thing you know, 4K ka na, tapos, that's just another 8 minutes lang ulit, another 10 minutes. So, yeah, and then if you just push yourself a little more, then that's already 5K. And how much of our time really is spent doing other things, like being on social media for hours, when to do a run, you just need 30 minutes and you're good na. So, just, think about the time, how you're spending your time na lang.
I don't know if it helps, but I normally don't run with music. I run na walang sounds. But sometimes I like sing in my head. I don't know if that helps. Yeah, or parang I keep on thinking about things at the same time I'm running. And I find it entertaining. Thoughts, like,
personal choice mo talaga. As in, you choose not to listen to music while running. Tama ba?
I think more of safety kasi I run sa street.
Okay. Right.
It's just that baka it's safer talaga. Yung earphones ko kasi hindi siya yung pang sports na nakaganon. Saka, I just wanted to be fully aware kasi sa street ako tumatakbo.
Right.
Just to be safe. Kasi mag-isa lang ako. No hanash. Mag-isa lang.
Yeah, wala din. Ako din. Mag-isa lang din ako.
And also, sorry, there were times na parang medyo na feeling ko parang I was overheating. Kasi parang I don't bring water with me kasi hindi ako nakabili yung water na or yung sa belt. When I run, I literally just bring my key and my cellphone. And then sinusuksok ko ng pera sa sa pocket or a bill, 100 bills sa cellphone. Tapos I buy water after. And there were certain times na I ran in the afternoon after work, mga 2019, or even last year, 2019. So parang minsan, parang akala ko hindi pa ako nauuhaw or something, pero yun pala parang nag-overheat na yung body. So yun, always make sure na may mabibilan ka ng water or may baon kang water. Just to be, parang you have access to water kaagad. Kasi I heard stories like one of the number one factors of people getting injured is yung heat stroke or na overheat, dehydration. It's quite serious in some cases, diba? So, don't take that for granted, especially if you're doing like mga 10K. 10K in the afternoon is different than like 10K in the morning, diba? Sometimes it's hotter. And, I think that's serious.
Right.
And also, sugar or, not naman sugar, parang make sure na you have enough energy, siguro. Kasi, yun. There were certain times na parang nahilo ako. Hindi ko baka nag-lower na yung sugar ko or something.
Oh, okay.
Yun. So, it's good talaga to fuel at least an hour or an hour and a half before you run. Yung mga bars. Not necessarily yung hardcore bars na, tipong mga Nature Valley or granola bars man lang. Just make sure na parang that's important. Because there are times na parang I literally felt dizzy or nanghina. Kala ko hindi pa ako gutom or yung pala. Siyempre, pag nahimatay ka kung saan, di ba? Baka you should also have information, I don't know, an ID in your pocket. God forbid. I've been running sa treadmill though, almost every day. An hour. Ganun. I never thought I would really get into it kasi my challenge was yung I get bored. Parang nasanay ako na seeing a lot of things, like outside. But eventually, it's really that rhythm siguro that you look forward to. Ang hinahanap-hanap ng katawan mo na parang there's something. Iba kasi I like weight training and I also like hiking or parang other exercises. But there's something about a rhythmic exercise. Maybe like biking, yung parang tuloy-tuloy yung ganun. It makes me feel good.
Is it parang a peaceful sort of thing?
Yeah. For me, parang it makes my brain I don't know, parang it makes me stop thinking for a while. Or maybe if I'm thinking about something, it's more of like, it's like a wheel turning, something like that. It's like a quiet time. Something like that.
Thank you, Celine. I hope you enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time and for sharing yung thoughts and experiences related to running.
Thanks, guys. See you soon. Sana we can go hiking or...
Oo nga, no? Gusto ko ng race talaga. Gusto ko talaga ng race. Gusto ko lang yung
or kahit yung sabay-sabay lang na mag-run or exercise. I don't know, kahit walk.
Soon, sana soon.
That's a wrap.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Celine.
Thanks din. Miss you guys. See you
soon. Miss you soon.
Baka ng Hanash.
Ay, try mo. Bibilis yung case mo. Mag-under 5 minutes, guys.